One. Let's get started.
Welcome to an episode of Kawaii Conversations with your host, Lady Masquerade. Let's chat. I just finished every single last season of My Hero Academia, and I have some thoughts. Let's get into them. Hi, it's Lady Masquerade here, and it is time to talk about My Hero Academia. Yes, I'm so glad that I'm finally getting to start this video. So let's start. So season 1 starts off with young Izuku Midoriya, who has dreamed since he was a child to become a hero, and who idolizes a hero named All Might. And one day their paths meet and Izuku's life changes forever. Midoriya starts off quirkless in the series and one day decides to go and save a child in danger of a Nomu. He just darts on off, and his friend Bakugo, who we're going to get into because I don't like him, is also trapped inside this Nomu. So he starts off, he goes to go save him, and thus Izuku Midoriya's story begins, okay? And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I hated Midoriya in the beginning because I thought he was annoying, honestly. I just really thought the whole I want to save everybody thing is just an annoying trope in anime, because let's just be real, you ain't gonna save everybody. But what I like about this anime is that it lets you know that you can't save everybody. All Might gets inspired, jumps in to help Midoriya, and ultimately decides to try to help Midoriya when he goes to the UA Academy for Heroes. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I feel like once he gave Midoriya his quirk, he could have been a little bit more hands-on in the beginning with helping him use it versus later. I feel like All Might came in a little too late with teaching him. That's just my opinion. I feel like it should have been day one. You should have told him everything. Day one, baby. Day one. Because goddamn, you keeping that secret, boo-boo. All Might. You should have just went on ahead and told everybody. First day you gave Midoriya that quirk. Okay? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I thought both seasons 1 and season 2 was slick, kind of boring. I really feel like the show doesn't pick up until like season 3, when you get to all the action, the drama. Midoriya's real journey as a hero begins in season 3. So it's just like after you get through seasons 1 and 2, yeah, season 3 will take you there. It'll take you there. I feel like they could have did a little bit more with season 2, considering he was in the academy with All Might's powers. And I don't know. Maybe not. So once I done got to season 3, finally, I was happy as hell because it was more action, it was more drama included. I love the scuffle. And I mean the scuffle him and Bakugo had. I love the scuffle. And honestly, the one thing I can't stand is that Midoriya never fucking punched Bakugo in his motherfucking mouth. You should have punched that motherfucker. You should have punched him for real, because Bakugo needed to be fucking humbled. I don't understand why people tried to compare him to Vegeta, because he's not. He's not fucking Vegeta. He never will be. Those two are two totally different characters, because Bakugo didn't change, in my opinion. He's still the same. In my opinion, he never changed. He's still the same. He's still the same jackass. And probably when he get older too, he's still gonna be a jackass. The only thing I can say I genuinely liked about Bakugo is that he agreed to keep Midoriya and All Might secret once he found out that All Might gave Midoriya his quirk. And this right here, I can at least say he was a real friend in this moment. But I still feel like All Might and Midoriya should have told everybody. It should not have been a secret that was kept, because I feel like if it wasn't a secret among the classmates, maybe they could have prepared for things way ahead of time before they got out of hand in later seasons. However, I will say that I am glad that Bakugo decided to keep this secret from him. And I was just sick of his fucking ego. But that part mattered. It really did. So, thank you, Bakugo, for keeping Midoriya's secret. I still don't fucking like you. So, from here on out, we go to season 4. There's more training, more action. Everybody's getting ready for one of the courses at UA where the students have to battle each other. If I remember, that's the season they did that, just to determine who would get their internships at the end of the year to work with close heroes. And unfortunately, Midoriya does not win an internship during this match at UA. There's Bakugo, there's Todoroki, which is one of my favorite characters, and Tokoyami, who end up winning this competition. So Midoriya has to end up studying hard, which honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like they could have picked a couple of more students, because why did y'all only pick 3? Y'all could have at least picked the top 10. Okay, so season 5 starts to get a little bit more hectic, where we're introduced to the main villain. What is that? What is that character's name? Jesus Christ, I can't remember. Kisaragi? It's something. I can't remember his name, but he has the blue hair, the hands on his face and everything. And my God, is he scary. He is so creepy. Like, oh my God. He looked like he could use some Vaseline. Because I tell y'all, his face looked like it was ashy and dry. Y'all could have at least drew him with some moisturized lips or something. But that motherfucker looked dry as hell. He looked like he about to snack and crackle. Oh, shit. Snap, crackle, and pop. My bad. Damn, I said snack and crackle. Where the fuck that come from? But anyway... Yeah, that villain right there, he is so dry to me looking in the anime. What makes it so bad? Oh my God, y'all, the geese outside. They outside. Hold on. Let me go feed them.
Over 1 month later! Oh my God, I'm so late. I'm sorry. Oh my God, I am so sorry that I have been getting this villain's name wrong, but this is Shigaraki Tomura. One of the most, I would say, driest villains that I have seen in anime history. Because, baby, he needed shoes, he needed some lotion, he needed some lip chap. But we're going to save that for another day. I'm not gonna lie to you. We first meet Shigaraki, I want to say in maybe season. I can't even think of the season. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like so late on this video that I can't think of the exact episode. But I do remember that he attacked UA on a random training day and basically gave them a run for their money. And from then on, we saw him more frequently. We saw him plotting, scheming, getting a whole group together. Like, he basically wanted to create the villainous Avengers, if you will. So after he creates his villainous Avengers, he then decides, hey, I'm going to come up with a plan and we're just going to start targeting people who we think can join us at UA. So he decides he wants to kidnap Bakugo one day, which I think that this episode was hilarious to me because Bakugo was just like, nah, don't rescue me. Fuck all that. I'm just gonna take that shit like a man. I ain't even gonna worry about fighting and shit like that. And the craziest thing to me is Shigaragi thought that he could change Bakugo's mind about wanting to be a villain instead of a hero and stuff like that. And Bakugo was just like, fuck no, you're not gonna change my motherfucking mind. Not at all. And I'm not gonna lie, that's probably one of my favorite moments with Bakugo, even though I really can't stand Bakugo as a character. But Shigaraki overall as a villain, I rate him a solid 8 simply because he's one of those villains with the, I would say, horrible childhood trope mentality. And don't get me wrong, this mentality is very common in most villains. I just feel like it's a little bit overused sometimes. It's like, okay, I get it. You've had a horrible childhood. Of course you're gonna become a villain. Like that's obvious as fuck. Of course it was gonna happen. And I slick did feel sorry for him at first up until I realized this motherfucker is crazy. Like, how am I supposed to feel sorry for a crazy ass villain? The only villain that I think I could feel sorry for in this series was probably Twice, and maybe whatever the vampire girl's name was, because I am horrible with names. Jesus Christ. So I just feel like her and Twice deserved a little bit better of an ending than what they got. But I think it's cool. Now, anyways, back to Shigaraki. So anyways, Shigaraki continues to terrorize the UA students as well as recruit. He recruits Dabi, he recruits Twice, he recruits the vampire girl, can't remember her name for shit right now. Um he recruits what in the world is the guy with the headband's name? I can't even remember his name, but he had the two swords. And he was a crazy ass villain who really, really, really idolized All Might as a hero and wanted to fight him. So I feel like personally, Shikaragi, oh my god. Overall, I want to rate this moment of villainy and of time. I give it a crazy maybe like 7, honestly, because it's just like, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of the villains in MHA were hard to fight for these students. Why is it that none of the adults seem to want to be there, or not? I wouldn't say didn't want to be there, but why were they never there when a lot of this shit happened? Or why were they telling the students like, oh, you can't do shit without a hero license, but they done stepped in several times without one? So why did a hero license matter so fucking bad? Like, I just feel like a hero license overall for situations like these should not have mattered as much. And it's crazy. Like, I get it. There were rules and regulations, but why did these students have to go through all this shit to get a hero license when they've already fought so many villains? You know what I'm saying? Like, throughout the series, it always made me mad. Like, oh, you can't do this without a license. You can't do that without a hero license. Like, where was the adults? Where were they? Where were they when a lot of this shit was happening? Like, yes, some came, but hell, where was everybody fucking at? Y'all should have helped these students out a little bit more at UA. I just feel like the adults really didn't do as much as they could have. Why is it that we were only introduced to certain characters in later seasons? They could have came in earlier. Like, come on now. I never liked that as far as like the activities and the licensing at UA. And I just think it was unfair to tell these students like, hey, you got to have a license to defend yourself. Like, why do I need a hero license to defend myself against a villain who possibly would want to off me, or possibly, you know, get me knocked off by another villain? Let's not even get into that. I mean, the hero unaliver was in this show. So season 6 is where it gets a little bit more dark, and we start to see the changes in, I would say, Midoriya, and how he finds out about the new powers, how he goes about using them, and how he slowly starts to distance himself from everybody else at UA. It was like he changed. He went from, like a hero that wanted to save everybody to a hero that wanted to stay away from everybody in order to keep them safe. He even wrote a letter to everybody, the entire class of UA, to let them know that, hey, like, I got multiple powers, so guess what? I gotta leave the school, y'all, in order to keep y'all safe. So he ends up isolating himself for a little while and only talking to adult heroes such as All Might and Endeavor up until he distanced himself from All Might and ultimately decided that it was best for him to isolate himself from All Might as well. And so what the class ended up doing is getting Midoriya to come back by fighting him and making him realize, like, hey, we here for you. We are here for you. It don't matter. We got your back. You know what I'm saying? Like, P.O.P. Midoriya, hold it down. The class also has to deal with the aftermath of what the villains left behind. I mean, it was nothing but destruction. The entire city looked terrible, and I mean terrible. And I think that was part of what made both season 6 and season 7, which is the final season or whatever you want to call it, so dark and just so eerie because of that feeling that you got from the visuals. Like, the visuals they invoke that eerie feeling, like, oh my god, this is the end. After they fought Midoriya, got him back to the school, here is where the real war starts. They all make a plan. They storm the League of Villains hideout and along with the adult heroes. But little do they know, these villains are basically ahead of them. They get them a run for their money. They dang near almost take out plenty of the quote unquote adult heroes that are in the show. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, during those parts, I'm just kind of upset about Midnight's death, or her unaliving, because I honestly don't feel like she deserved that death, okay? And also, there were a lot of deaths that should have happened but didn't, and I did find that kind of weird because it was like, where's the rest of the eeriness from some of the main students from UA getting, unalived or, taken off the roster of heroes? Like, come on now. I just feel like that's crazy that none of these students actually got unalived. That's crazy to me. I feel like we would have had a better feeling if some of them actually did, perish in this villain versus hero war versus society, because really it was hero versus villain versus the society of the people. Because let's just be real, like, the people were annoying in My Hero Academia too, because it's like, yeah, I can see it on one hand, they like go ahead and give up Midoriya or whatever, and then on the other hand it was like, no, we gonna save him or whatever, we gonna make sure we protect Midoriya, you know what I'm saying? And Uravity's speech was really beautiful. I loved her speech when it came to her being on top of that building and speaking her mind about Midoriya. You could tell she loved him through that speech too. Oh my god, this speech was so cute. Like, this a woman that said, that's my man, I'm gonna stick beside him. So they all end up retreating, going back to the school to regroup and reinforce it and re-prepare for pretty much everything. And they come up with an entirely new plan that ultimately puts damn near all of them in danger. And this is where it gets hectic from this part on. And this is kind of like the last part of season 6 leading up to season 7, I believe. And please forgive me if I'm a little off track, because I'm basically talking about this when I've already watched it like damn near a month ago. So excuse me if everything is out of order. But yeah, so they come up with an entirely new plan.
They get All for One to fall for their plan in a way. And they're trying to shut it down. So they set up a trap for him and Shikaragi, which ultimately puts them in a really sticky situation. Because Shikaragi basically has a whole new form. He's a lot stronger. He basically is still as, I'll say, psycho as ever. And I'm not even gonna lie. During that fight with Lemillion, I was wondering, why was he there? Why was Lemillion there? He's top 3 in his class, but why was he there? Top 3 should have belonged to somebody else. Like, I got the other ones, like not Nejire and Sun Eater. Those two I can say but deserve, like top 1 and 2. But did he necessarily deserve, that number 1 spot or whatever, or top 3 in that class? I don't know. Because I feel like Lemillion's powers are only as useful as whatever he has around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get that. That can probably be why, like, the quirks or whatever are built a certain way. Like, yeah, he got good combat skills, but if you think about it, when you can't necessarily touch a villain like Shikaragi, what good is it gonna do? Especially when you can't touch him, but your powers are not touching. Like, you phasing through objects. You can't phase through and punch him like you want to, Lemillion. Like, so Midoriya, along with One for All's spirits, decide to devise a plan to get inside of Shikaragi's body and go ahead and destroy him from the inside out. And this plan is successful to a certain extent. However, it takes a little bit more of a push. And baby, when they got that push, they got that push. Bakugo held it down. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I'm not even gonna deny my boy on this one. He actually did hold it down with them sweat bombs. I know they was funky, but he did his job. I'm so happy that, some funk actually got love for once. Ain't nothing wrong with a little sweat when it can explode. But don't get me wrong, I still don't like Bakugo. So please don't think I love him. All right. Like, that's the only few compliments he gonna get up out of me, baby. But anyway, Shigaragi ends up turning into a baby, like a baby. And Bakugo basically goes ham on him. And there we go. We are finally done with the One for All villain, okay? And basically Shigaragi too, because of course they fused together. Which, I'm not even gonna lie to you, that was so weird to me. Like, I just was like, ew. Like, you wanted to get inside this young man's body from the day you met him? Like, it just don't sit right with me. Like, I don't understand this concept. It's so weird. I was like, ew. It was giving Orochimaru, okay? It was giving Orochimaru and Sasuke. I'm not gonna lie. Like, My Hero Academia overall was just giving me Naruto with a little bit more uppityness. Versus Midoriya being isolated like Naruto was. But good lord, like, I don't know. I might go back and rewatch just to give y'all a better review, because I kind of feel like I skipped over some things, but it's okay. Like, you just gonna have to take this for right now. So, in all honesty, my final thoughts are, overall, Midoriya was annoying. And I didn't like the ending of the anime either. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Him just getting a suitcase with a Tony Stark suit was not it for me. I feel like at least one of the powers should have stayed with him so he could still be a hero and stuff like that. Because I don't feel comfortable with him not having any powers to fight with at all. And that's how he started, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even with All Might, like, I just feel bad for them both, because I did like the whole father son kind of role that they played in each other's lives.
So I grew to appreciate that, even though I didn't like Midoriya too much, but I do like that dynamic between them. Some of my favorite characters would be Nejire, Hado. Like, I love Nejire. I love me some her. Okay. Of course, I love me some Midnight. Like, she's another fave of mine. I'll get into more characters whenever I film a updated review of the show, when it's a little bit more fresh on my mind. I have been going through some things, of course, so I never got the chance to finish my review. But I do hope y'all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Come and talk to me. I really want me.